Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is,
You all right?
whenever anybody's watching. How's it going?
Yeah, good.
It's been a while. We've had a couple of games since we last checked in here. You've had a boat trip to Fulham,
Oh, yeah, that was good.
and then we've had the Palace. Hang on, no, we had we went out as well. Yeah, we went out to Sporting.
Sporting.
I've conveniently forgotten all about that. I've wiped that from the memory
Yeah.
bank. And then we've had a relatively routine 4-1 home win against Palace, but that was followed by quite a marathon journey home for you. So
Well, the
we're
journey
just
wasn't a marathon. It was just the fact that it was
starting the
line
journey, yeah, getting to the start line.
when the bus broke down. Yeah.
So the point of this little conflab, I think, is just to take stock of where we are and nervously look forward to the final 10 games. It's interesting. We're at the point now where we're less sure of how many games we've played, but we're bloody aware of how many games we've still got to go. So 10 to go. The countdown is well and truly on. So Fulham away. I was nervous. I was apprehensive.
We all were.
And then we like nerves. What nerves? It was like
That
ridiculous.
first half was arguably some of the best we've played all season. You know, there was a real zip, considering we had played a couple of days before in Portugal, and it was against Fulham, who are a good side. Yes, they were missing Paulinho, who's probably been one of the standout players in the league, let alone for Fulham. But to turn in a performance like that is absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible.
It was. It was just. I'm like, I still can't shake the slightly more traditional Arsenal potential performances, and that was just. I mean, mind you, I'm saying that. What was it? 3 of our last 6 games have been won in stoppage time, or whatever. Whatever it is. So I'm not, like we thoroughly deserve to win all of the games that we've won. It's just the manner in which we've been winning is actually quite varied, and we there's more than one way to skin a cat, and we're exemplifying that. Comfortable 3-0, 4-1, controlled 1-0 away at Leicester. Would that be fair?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. They didn't. Did they have a shot on target?
No, they didn't have a shot on target. That's right. That was right. A controlled 1-0 away when it's Chelsea as well, much earlier on the season. But and then a complete, like, mind blowing 3-4. Well, I say in my mind the games all ended 3-2, like the Man United game in its stoppage time winner. The Bournemouth Reece Nelson moment, which will live long and forever in the memories. But the Villa game actually finished 4-2, even though our third goal was in the 93rd minute. It was like, so it's all very much, I don't know, is it going to plan?
Well, I mean, you would write a more comfortable plan if you were able to actually script it yourself. But, we will take it.
Would you?
Given
would
that,
you? If you could script it yourself? Like that 97th minute Nelson winner is far more, like, once it happened, it's far more memorable than 3-0 at Fulham.
Well, rather relevantly, in Fever Pitch, Nick Hornby says the best result is a comeback 3-2 win. When you're 2-1 down to then win 3-2 is the best result in football because of the highs, of the lows, encapsulated in one result. But given where our ambitions would have been at the start of the season, I mean, it's just incredible, and also slightly ironic given that I think I was surprised by the number of people I saw, yes, all right, online, so probably not even real people, but online, the reaction to going out to Sporting was very mixed. You know, there were some people who, you know, were just like, well, glad to be out of it. There were other people who were like, oh, okay, you know, Sporting were no mugs. Then there was a flip side to that where people were like, no, we should be going for Europa League and European trophy. Other people saying we should be beating the likes of Sporting and this, that, and the other.
Well, what about you? Where are you?
Well, I'm sort of in the middle because I was disappointed, but I soon realised when it was getting nearer to 90 minutes, the worst result for me was going to extra time. Because I just didn't want the fatigue in the legs, regardless of whether we went through or not, to be honest. As it turns out, we played a game against Fulham that was just incredible. It was just amazing. Just going back to the Bournemouth game as well, it's amazing in correlation to the Fulham game. It's amazing how many people we've spoken to who have sort of said if you'd looked at those two games, Bournemouth at home, Fulham away, you're going, well, Bournemouth at home, easy. And you know, no disrespect to Fulham. I've combined the two there. No disrespect to Bournemouth, but they are a newly promoted side. You know, it is a relatively thin squad. You know, an inexperienced manager.
They did just beat Liverpool 1-0.
But this is the thing. They've had some really impressive performances and results. Yes.
Sorry, I'm just eyeing at the dog nuzzling into your elbow.
Yes. So yeah, Bournemouth have done some incredible things, and they're no mugs. You know, they're you know, you've got to put in a performance to beat them because you know they work hard, they're organised, they're tidy. I think Billing is actually a very underrated player.
Yeah,
he was very good. I know he got the early goal, which was a brilliant, almost like a set piece routine against us in the first sort of
which shouldn't have stood
9 seconds. Well, yeah, I mean that aside, but fine, you know, it worked. And so. And then, yeah, Fulham away, and you look at the season that they're having, all seems to be unravelling a little bit at the moment.
Well, in 1 minute at Old Trafford.
That's crazy, isn't it? But yeah, you look at that Fulham away, and you're thinking that is going to be a really tough game, and it was just great. And it wasn't necessarily that they did anything wrong. I don't think they put in a bad performance. I just think they were that good at Arsenal.
Yeah, and I think that's what's happened. I said this before about the Invincibles and the better Wenger teams before the Invincibles, that we often won the game before the match started. Yeah. And I think we're starting to see that.
Yeah.
Because I think Fulham were just. Do you know the first time I started to really think that this season was Man City's performance and attitude in the game at the Emirates relatively recently. The way that they were time wasting at 0-0. And the way they celebrated their goals, the fact that I really think that I think other teams perceive us as even better than we perceive us as being.
Yes, yeah.
And that's, you know, to have 5 consecutive opposition goalkeepers booked for time wasting or whatever it was. These are the dropping so deep, the low block. You know, it's. And I'm not saying like Bournemouth came and they attacked us. Crystal Palace actually hit the post before we registered a meaningful attempt down their end. And could it conceivably have easily been 1-0 up by that time? So it's but then the way Fulham just completely, basically, I think gave us too much respect. But they were powerless to do anything different, and yeah, they were a much better second half. But the game was over.
Yeah,
it was done. Like if it was 0-0 at half time, then that second half wouldn't have transpired the way it did transpire. So it's just I don't know, scrambling for I don't know, evidence that it's all going to go wrong. You know, that this sense of, I still got it, this like impending doom. And
well, where did the Sporting result and going out of the Europa League factor into that, or doesn't it? Do you see it as totally separate?
I think it's for the greater good. I absolutely agree that, and I used to hate it when Wenger would rest players for an FA Cup semi-final against Manchester United at Villa Park, for example, because there was a Champions League match and a league match in the next 7 days, and I think just go for it, win the next game, win the game that's in front of you, but we don't have the squad at the moment to do that. So I'm quite happy to had the Sporting game been a Champions League game, then there's no question that he might have rotated 1 or 2, but he wouldn't have made 6 changes. And I, to be honest, when I saw the team news, I would have gone further. I wouldn't have played Gabriel, for instance, as a centre back in that game. But so I didn't. And then it really came home when the draw was made on the Friday, and we realised we would have had Juventus away, Liverpool away, and West Ham away in the same 7-day stretch. I'm like, no, absolutely.
Totally. I don't know many Arsenal fans that
I can compartmentalise that, and I'm thinking if I'm not saying we will win the league, but going out to Sporting gives us a better chance of winning the league than if we'd stayed in. I believe. Just the fact that we lost 2 players in that game anyway is illustrative of that on its own. So I wasn't. I mean, I'd much rather go out to Sporting in that round than go out to Man United in a 2-legged semi-final, for example.
God, can
you imagine the? I mean, the distraction of that from the league games.
Be awful.
We haven't got. I know we're in a very strong position, Tomiyasu aside, and wait till we see what the Saliba damage really is. We're in a far stronger. Our bench is looking really impressive at the moment. With game changers, look at Emil and Gabriel and Vieira and Jorginho on the bench. Like, that's some impressive bench there. And Eddie not even in the squad, injured. So it's so we've got a nervous 2 weeks now.
Yeah,
I laughed at Haaland's injury. I'm sure he'll be back for the Liverpool game straight after Easter. That was convenient.
Yeah, I'd love Saka just to have a couple of weeks off, but he's going to be front and centre for England, I think, isn't he?
Yeah, and getting kicked by the Italians on tomorrow night, probably. But I did read somewhere that Arsenal have sent one of our physios with Party to Ghana to monitor how they use him.
Good.
That's interesting, isn't it?
That's very tactical
and very revealing as well.
Do not play him for 180 minutes or however many games I've got. I assume it's 2. It
is a qualifier, and that he plays. So I've got on Arsenal.com. I've got the they've listed when our players are playing. So Party plays tomorrow, as well as Jorginho and Ramsdale and Saka against each other.
Ramsdale won't start, will he?
He will. I think he will. Do you think?
No.
Is Pickford in the squad? Yeah. So no, Ramsdale won't start. So that's fine.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I mean, I don't really like talking about England too much at the minute, but Southgate is going with his tried and trusted. He's picked Calvert-Lewin, who's played 56 minutes for Man City.
And Harry Maguire.
So he's going with his tried and trusted. On the one hand, I get it. You've got that continuity to a point, and they have done well for England. But I don't know. I don't see that Southgate's plateaued with England to a point. He's done very, very, very well to get them to where they've gone. Because for England, it wasn't always a gimme that they would make semi-finals.
I'm sorry, I'm not on board with that viewpoint at all. I think he's got extremely lucky with his draw in every single tournament, qualifications and the actual tournaments themselves.
Well, qualifications were never.
He's lost against the only decent teams he's come up against, really.
They beat Germany and they beat Spain in the Nations League. There have been.
I'm not talking about the Nations League. I mean,
it was still a competitive match.
It's the Euros or the World Cup, and Croatia beat them. They came up. What opposition did they come up with before Croatia? Sweden.
Yeah, that World Cup run was favourable, but you can only beat favourable.
Yes, no. Listen, I'm not blaming them for it. I'm just not giving them credit for it.
England are probably not as good as people think they
Yes,
can.
I think
I'm all on board with that.
I think they're a quarter-final stroke semi-final, depending on the draw team. I think
Well,
they
that's
could be
sort of what I'm
better.
saying, though, because
Yeah.
I actually think that there is a better England team
Yes.
there
Yes.
than what Southgate will pick.
Oh, absolutely.
Because, you know, the fact that Tomori is playing for AC Milan in the Champions League, has won the league in Serie A, doesn't get a call up.
Yeah, and you point to a better defender than Ben White in the English defender in the Premier League this season.
Yeah, well, that's his face not fitting, isn't it?
Yeah.
From if rumours are to be believed.
Yeah, and I'm happy with that, because I'm much happier with him having a 2-week break, especially with Tomiyasu, so no backup.
God, yeah.
And again, that that helps with the fact that we've got a minimum of 5-6 days per break gap between games now. So Ben White, unless he gets a bad tackle, or like, his body should physically be able to cope with 10 games left this season. Obviously, notwithstanding the crunching tackle from somebody else.
We've got Leeds next.
Yeah, a team
that'll be an intense game.
Quite renowned for their tackling as well. Well, hang on. Before we, let's talk.
I was going to say, on the injuries front, have you seen the first part of the Gabriel Jesus?
No, I haven't.
Recovery?
What's it like?
Yeah, it's quite good. I mean, it's got that same sort of polish that the Amazon documentary had. What I quite like, really, it's a kind of get to know Gabriel Jesus kind of story as well. And there's a bit behind the scenes. It's all right. The fact that it's only 10 minutes, they're not dwelling on it. They're not milking it that much. Yeah, it's all right. But I don't.
And is it a two-parter then?
I don't know how many parts there are going to be. That it did lead into the fact that there was going to be a second one, but that second part is very much him, standing on the sidelines and becoming a bit of a cheerleader. So yeah, I can't imagine there'll only be 2 or 3, but yeah, it's worth watch just to get to know him. It's a funny one because his reaction to the initial injury was one of utter devastation. They keep using the word emotional because it wasn't so much, the long-term impact of how it could impact his career. A ligament injury could be a career ender if it's really serious. But it's Brazil and the World Cup. That aura, being part of that, just means the world.
How did he do it? Was it in training?
That's the other thing. That's the big revelation, is that he doesn't know. And he says that growing up playing in the areas and in the way that he did, he just played with pain. He's just used to it. So he something happened in the first half, but he doesn't know what, because he just carries on in the way that he does. So he has no idea. And there's just
he actually damaged himself further by.
Well, this is the thing, yeah. He's almost, he could have made it worse, and it could have been a lot more worse. He was talking at the time. Again, I'm go and watch it, but he said, give me whatever I need just to get through this World Cup. And the club are going, no, I'm sorry, but that's it.
I've just looked at, so England play on Sunday again.
Yeah, Thursday, Sunday.
And so they're done. They're done then. Mm. So that's a week off at least for Saka and I'm assuming that's Zinchenko's last game as well, is it?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
Actually, it might not be. So Jorginho's done then as well, because Italy also play on the Sunday. Hang on, let's see.
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been.
Ødegaard plays on Tuesday next week. Okay. And Emil's with the
21s.
Yeah. Okay, so that is Zinchenko's only game. So Tuesday's the last game for everyone. Xhaka plays on Tuesday against Israel. Trossard plays against Germany. Tierney against Spain. Emil against Croatia in the under-21s. Vieira, Portuguese under-21s. So Tuesday's the last game at least, and we're playing Saturday, 3:00, aren't we?
Yep.
Ghana's
Liverpool City.
Yes. Party's last game's on the Monday.
Okay.
5 p.m. Our time.
What kind of game is it? Is it a qualifier?
It's a qualifier again away to Angola.
Okay. Well, we will all keep everything crossed that they return a full bill of health and see how we go, really. Like you say,
Zinchenko's only playing one game.
that's good.
Yeah.
Sadly, you wonder if that's because of what they're able to play as a country, which is, still a worry. But he'll be invested in that. Did you see? Sorry to go from the low to the high, but did you see the video of him driving away from the stadium?
I did, past the Tollington. Yeah,
that guy. He is. I mean, to make yourself a cult hero at a club in such a short space of time is incredible. He's only been here for a few months, and already he's just.
Did you see the video of him doing the skills, the control?
Yes.
That's ridiculous.
I mean, it's levels, isn't it?
There was the one when he turned his back on it and like control. I'm like, what? What was that?
I'd give myself a hernia just trying it.
I didn't. I had it on mute. I didn't because I couldn't hear if there was any commentary to it or anything like that, and I didn't understand what the setup was. So I didn't recognize the other guy, but just like.
Oh, I mean, the other guys are kind of like one of these kind of freestyle footballers,
right?
I think.
And so he got done. So he got outdone by Zinchenko.
Yeah. It's all the challenges and stuff that they do, but yeah, it's just what a guy. Just love it so much. He's only been here a few weeks. It's crazy.
Well, I didn't know this character at all at Man City, and I don't know whether that's just because I never paid much attention. But I should really. I don't know any City fans. I wonder what their take on him was when he was at their club, because I know Gary Neville. Who was it? Gary Neville said that he's not a leader. At the start of the season, and then but there are clips then of him in the City changing rooms
in the Amazon documentary.
Right, there you go. So
yeah, it's in the Man City All or Nothing, which tells you something about Gary Neville's level of research. But there we go.
Yes, or just likes a wind up.
Yeah.
Right. So I've had a look at the fixture list.
Oh, of course you have.
I have.
So the magic numbers.
Right.
Props to Adam Vogue on Twitter.
Yeah.
We cannot finish lower than the top half officially.
With 10 games to go, that's pretty impressive.
We're a top half team with 10 games to go. Yeah.
Well, we've matched last season's points total, haven't we?
That's crazy. And apparently, I think the last time we had a plus 40 goal difference was 2008.
I'm surprised it was that recent.
Really? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And we've only ever beat this points total after this many games.
Invincibles. Yeah, 1 point.
Nuts. We are doing things that are just incredible.
And the London Derby stat is ridiculous as well.
Away from home, all those clean sheets. Is it 5?
5 clean sheets, never been
Chelsea,
done before.
Spurs, Brentford, Fulham,
Palace. Yeah, and we've got Chelsea home, and that's it left. Is that Chelsea home? I can't remember.
Yeah, but the home one's gone anyway because Palace scored against us at home, didn't they?
Yeah, but we've won. Brentford have drawn. We've drawn with Brentford. We've only dropped points in one London derby, and that was home to Brentford.
Crazy.
So we've got 10 games left. City have 11 games left. I'll do City's first. I've gone through City's fixtures, and out of their 11 games, and this terrified me because I did City's first. I didn't. When I was doing it myself.
You don't want me to do them, do you? Okay, good.
Well, no, I'll go through. Well, okay, I can go through. So City's 11 games, I've got them winning 9 of them.
Really?
And including beating us, right? So I wanted to.
Well, that's 27 points. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No, I haven't got them winning 9 of them. Yeah, I have. I've got them dropping points in 2 of them. I've added them up wrong. You've worried me now.
Well, this is it. This is what happens when you get 2 English teachers together. Can't do the maths.
What points are they on at the moment?
I don't know.
61, isn't it? Yeah, because we're 69, so they're 61.
And we're 8 points ahead.
Oh shit! Right. Okay. This is not good now. This is. Right. So how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I've only got 10 games for City. I've left one out.
Well, what their game in hand might not be on the list, and their game in
Yeah.
hand is I can't remember what it is now. It was because they were playing in the FA Cup, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. So I've missed out a game. This could be critical.
Do you want to do this next episode?
Well, I can do the Arsenal ones now. Anyway, they're 10 games. I don't know what their game in hand is now. I've got them winning 8 and drawing 2.
Okay.
But winning against us as well. The draws, nervously, are home to Liverpool next weekend, or their first game back, and away to Brighton, which will now be in the last week of the season, probably.
Yeah.
Depending on how they are in the Champions League. And that gives them 26 points, which puts them on 87 points. But they've still got this other game now that I've not.
So they could top 90
missed.
points.
So they could, if they win that, be on 90 points.
Brentford,
now,
Chelsea, Everton, Leeds.
Hang on. Brentford, Chelsea. Yeah, I've got Everton, Leeds. They're the last 4. Then Fulham, us, Brighton.
Fulham, Arsenal, Brighton,
Leicester, Southampton,
Liverpool.
and Liverpool. Yeah. Where's the other one?
1, 2, 3.
That's 10.
4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9, 10. That is 10. I don't know.
What's their other game?
Well, that's on BBC Sport. So
yeah, that's right. That's where I got it from.
What's going on? There must be a game that's just not been scheduled. But then the Brighton one is TBC as well. Let me try a different tact. Something's happening. This is it. Man City have bought an extra game from somewhere, haven't they? This is what's happened.
Well, we've learned that Barcelona have offered gifts to referees over the line.
Oh. There's a part of me that has no problem with the authorities throwing the absolute book at Barcelona. You know, to go from having UNICEF on their shirts to this
corrupt,
just get in the bin. Yeah, exactly. Right. Don't know.
So I've got the existing list, so go on.
Yeah, I go ahead. Yeah, Liverpool's on that game week. I'm on the Premier League website now. Southampton.
Yeah.
Leicester.
Yeah.
Brighton.
Yeah.
Arsenal.
Yep.
Fulham.
Yep.
Leeds.
Yep.
Everton.
Yep.
Chelsea.
Yep.
Brentford.
Yeah.
And there's still one missing.
Yeah.
What on earth has happened?
Well, hang on a minute. Have we got 9 games to go, not 10 then? We're on 28, they're on 27. I'll look at the table. Let me look at the table.
Are we just counting wrong?
Yeah, they've definitely got 11 games left. We've got 10. They're on 27. So do they have to play Spurs? No.
I don't know.
I mean, they've got some tricky away games within the context of the season, like Brentford, Everton, and Brighton, and Fulham. I mean, our away games are tougher than that, but... So where's this 11th game?
I don't know. I'm just having a look. I've got Daily Mirror, the running. But they've got lots of pop-ups on their website, which is really annoying. No, not on there. I've had to click on the Scum website.
It's not exactly narrowing it down much.
Well, no. Yeah. Right, here we go. Liverpool, Southampton, Leicester, Brighton, Arsenal, Fulham, Leeds, Everton, Chelsea, Brentford, West Ham to be confirmed.
Where's that one?
There's literally no date.
Where is it? Home or away?
Home. There's a home.
Oh, right. Well, that's 3 points.
That's 3 points.
Right. So they're on 90. Okay. So Arsenal. You can tell me what you think, and I'll tell you what I've put. Okay. Palace at home is the first one. So that's an easy one for you.
We won that 4-1.
Yeah. So I put down a win for that one. Okay. Leeds home. Oh, for God's sake, man.
No, the problem.
Really.
I can't. A leopard can't change its spots, can it? I'm just. Of course, it should be an Arsenal win.
Right. You're trying to work out what our points total will be at the end of the season. You have to put Leeds home as 3 points. Or we're not good. Or we're just like quit now. What's the point? In even playing the game. Do you know what I mean? It's like we want to win the league.
Yeah.
You're beating Leeds at home, right? So I did 3 points of that one. Liverpool away.
We haven't won there for a long time.
2012.
Is it really?
Yep.
That's longer than we've won at City. Well, I'm going defeat. That's a loss.
Yeah, I've done that as well.
Salah will turn up and score a penalty.
Yeah, no. They'll do to us what they did to United. Not quite to that extent, hopefully, but West Ham away.
I'd like to say win.
Yeah,
David Moyes has a terrible record against Big Six. So.
Yeah, 3 points I've gone for. They are desperate though, so you never know. Southampton at home.
Now Southampton is a funny one. Like, if it was at Southampton, I'd be really not confident because they're just, I don't know, there's something about them. They're kind of backed into a corner. They're at the bottom. They're doing all right, but at home,
I have to win.
I've got to go Arsenal win. Yeah.
Well, see, Palace were unbeaten in their last 4 visits to the Emirates. So they had a bit of a hold over us as well. Yeah, I've gone for 3 points there. City away.
Defeat.
Yep. Chelsea at home.
Now that's a very interesting one, isn't it? Because Chelsea are showing signs that there might actually be something resembling a team there.
Oh, they drew 2-2 at home with Everton. Last game.
Yeah, it was naive, wasn't it? I'm going to sit on the fence, say draw.
Yeah, I did as well. Newcastle away.
Right, so we lost there last year.
Yeah, comfortably. So you're talking about now. Are you thinking narrative again?
Oh, narrative. I hate the narrative. Where are Newcastle at? Newcastle's results have picked up a little bit.
They're 2 points behind Spurs with 2 games in hand on Spurs.
They're going for top 6.
They're going for top 4, but by then they'll either be in or out of that equation by then. Who knows?
Don't know at all. Might have to sit on the fence, say draw.
Yeah, I did as well. So those two. That's basically 3 games without a win.
Oh, that can really derail things.
City away, Chelsea home, Newcastle away, 2 points. We put the 2 of us, and that's quite interesting because with my tally, we're sitting 1 point behind City. So one of those draws into a victory, and we're 1 point above them. The last 3 games, then Brighton at home.
Depends what they're doing. Again, they're doing special things this season.
I don't know where that game falls alongside the FA Cup semi-final, however.
Well, it's around Southampton, isn't it? Because Man City have got their semi-final at some point around then, haven't they? I don't know.
Oh, typical. All right. So at the moment, Brighton's games are 22nd of April, the FA Cup semi-final, 23rd of April, away to home to Man City. So obviously the Man City game is going to be rearranged. So no, it doesn't. It's into May.
Okay.
Yeah. So actually,
I'll go win. I'm going to go win.
Yes, I went home win. Away from home may be different matter, but at home I think you have to go for a home win there. Forest away, second last game, penultimate game of the season. I think
They've
they'll be
not
down.
won in 5, is it?
Yeah, I think they'll be down by then probably, but that could work against us.
The problem is it's so close at the bottom.
Yeah.
A couple of wins could see them right, but again, narrative. We've lost 2 FA Cup games there in recent years, one of which I was at. Rubbish. Oh, I don't know with that one. Don't know, but win. They've really gone off the ball last few games. Lost a couple of big players to injury. I'm going to go.
And again, I think you have to, if you're talking about the quality that we've got, we should be winning at Forest. I know there's the psychology of the game is very different and so on. And then the final game, Wolves at home.
Win.
Yeah, so you've actually agreed with every outcome.
Have I
put, yes.
Okay.
And that puts us on 89 points, 1 point behind City because I had not spotted that I'd missed a game. So that's City. I've given City a hell of a good run in. 9 wins and 2 draws from their 11 games.
Well, I'm looking at City's now. I think they beat Liverpool.
Okay, so hang on. I need to do your +2 there. So you're saying they'll beat Liverpool, right?
They beat Saints.
Yeah.
They beat Leicester.
Yeah.
They've got Brighton away.
Yeah, that's going to be in the last week of the season when if Brighton are in the FA Cup final.
Yeah, that's going to get moved, isn't it?
Yeah, so they'll be playing
Brighton in the final. Yeah, context-wise, that could favour City then.
Yeah.
City win.
Although City could be in the Champions League final. Right, so you're saying City win. Okay, Arsenal home.
We've already said City win.
Yeah. Fulham away.
Depends if Polina plays. If Polina plays in midfield, I give Fulham a chance. Let's go draw.
Mitrovic will be suspended because he's going to get like a 98 game suspension or something, isn't he? Leeds home.
Oh, City win all day.
Everton away.
City win.
Chelsea home.
City win.
Brentford away.
Ooh. Problem is, last game of the season, what could Brentford are vying for European places.
Tony may not be there. I don't not be available. I don't know.
If it hasn't happened already, like I can't imagine anything's going to come in during this season. He'll get a suspended sentence and then.
I don't know. People like Joey Barton for a little bit more, but they got he got 18 months or 15 months or something like that. It's like pretty.
I don't know.
So Brentford away, their last home game of the season. So regardless of whether they're going for anything, and they did turn City over at the Etihad earlier in the season, which might fire up City, but
draw.
Well, that's interesting because we've picked different games, but we've both gone for 2 draws.
And then there's West Ham as well.
Oh no, West Ham home is a win.
That's a win.
Yeah, I didn't even need to ask you about that one.
Okay.
So that puts them on 90 points, us on 89 points.
So we've got City winning by a point.
Yeah.
And we get 89 points. Jeez.
Do you know what game changes all of that? One game.
Beating Chelsea.
No, drawing with City.
Drawing with City. Yeah.
Takes 2 off them, 2 to us. It probably means with that my quick bit of maths there, we'd be 91, they'd be 88. Last game of the season, we just need to draw if the goal difference isn't favourable for us.
Yeah. Well, there you go. God, I wish I was going to that City game. But it's midweek. We're back at school.
Yeah. So, what are you going to any? Are you going to any away games now?
I'm doing all of them apart from Liverpool and City. Well, saying that, with the supporters club, where I get my tickets, the guy sent an email saying actually for Forest away, it's so well subscribed and so oversubscribed, you're going to need something like 12 credits. And I think by the time Forest comes round, I might have 11. So I could miss out on Forest, but I should be. I'm West Ham and Newcastle should be fine.
I might,
And then
I
I
might,
can,
I might have a word with my mate. I'm on 52 credits.
what for Forest?
Mm.
Well, if you can't go, can I have a word with your mate?
Oh no, it's because it's on a weekend, isn't it? So,
And all the home games I can go to, even with Southampton being on a Friday, I'm going to make the effort and race down after school on the Friday. Because, you got to be there, haven't you?
well, yeah. Look, absolutely.
I kind of wish I'd applied to Liverpool now. But hey ho. I did West Ham in the Easter holidays instead. I thought that'd be slightly more
less
easier
stressful.
and more sensible, less
Absolutely.
distance and travel and all that as well.
Right. Well, there you go. So we might as well pack it in now. We've both realised
So
that City are going to win the league.
I hope we do. We could be the difference. We could be that 12th man on the ground, cheering them on, getting that extra point or two against Chelsea at home that we've said we probably won't get.
The funny thing is, I think rather than looking at our fixture list and looking for like
It's where will the cracks come from then?
it's City, yeah, because that's to win 9 and draw 2 of the last 9 games when they've got FA Cup and Champions League. That's regardless of their squad. I mean, they've done it before though. That's the thing. That's why everyone keeps saying. What's interesting is we've got between the two of us, we've got them dropping points in 4 of those 11 games. So if they do that, and we haven't given ourselves much of a vote of confidence.
No.
The best team they're facing and they're running is us.
Yeah.
And we've got them beating us.
Yeah. And we said it without hesitation.
Yep. I did it primarily.
That's us as Arsenal fans who have been, living the existence we have for the last 15 years, and seeing us basically fold like an accordion away to the big teams around us.
I wanted to do it because I wanted to err on the side of pessimism than optimism in terms of predicting the scores. But I was reading that we've got 9 or 10 league winners in our squad and the Champions League winner in Jorginho.
Right. Oh, so Jorginho's won the Champions League.
Yeah.
League winners.
Yeah.
Right, hold on. Let me think about this.
So, I don't have the names of them written down. No, I'll see if while you're reading them. League.
League.
Yeah, so players who knows what it takes to win a league title.
So the obvious ones are Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus.
In
Jorginho has won at Chelsea.
He hasn't won the league at Chelsea. He's won the Champions League at Chelsea. Yeah,
but he's won the Champions League at Chelsea,
and he's won the World Cup. Was it the Euros? World Cup. Euros.
Okay. Other players that have won a league. Oh. I'm really struggling. Did you say 7?
No, 9.
9?
Yeah.
What?
Hang on. I'm trying to...
Partey won the league at Atletico.
Yeah, he's won.
I mean...
2 of them won it with the same club. I didn't know that. And I'm trying to remember the second player now, and I can't.
I mean... Did Odegaard win it at Real Madrid? Not that he would have featured.
He wouldn't have played, no.
2 of them won it at the same club. There isn't Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus. I've got no idea.
Well, Trossard has won the league in Belgium. Is it Genk or wherever he played in? And someone else won it with that team as well. Who would that have been?
Lokonga.
Oh, here we go. Right, so okay.
El Neni, did he win it in Switzerland? We signed him from Basel, didn't we? Elneny.
Right, so Granit Xhaka and Elneny both are multiple winners at Basel. Tierney won it at Celtic.
Yeah.
Trossard with Genk, Partey with Atletico Madrid, Fabio
Little
Vieira with
shout out for
Porto.
Tierney's assist against Palace.
Oh, yes.
Love that boy.
Vieira at Porto, and Gabriel was part of the Dinamo Zagreb, but he was a bit too young. He didn't play much.
Okay.
So there's the list. Jesus has won 5 league titles. Elneny 4, Zinchenko 4, Tierney 4, Vieira 2, Xhaka 2, Trossard 1, Gabriel 1, Partey 1. Wow. So, and remember, I read that article a while ago that we've got now 4 players in the squad who are doing their coaching badges.
Yes.
So Cedric was the 5th, and he's obviously at Fulham. So there is a lot, and we're controlling. Okay, I say this, but we're controlling games a lot better. Palace and Fulham, the most recent examples of that. Obviously, there's games that we haven't quite controlled so well, but we've still found a way to win. We're on the longest winning streak in the Premier League at the moment, aren't we?
That links into what we were saying about Man City. Everyone's expecting them to go on this run where they just steamroll through, but it's us, and I think, is it Newcastle?
Yes, Newcastle had 5. I think.
Newcastle had a winning streak of 5 games in a row in the Premier League, and now we've just eclipsed that with 6.
Yeah.
Well, it's not City.
No.
It's us.
Yeah.
And City have got 11 games left.
How many? They drew with Forest, but they must have won the last 3 then. 3 or 4.
As you did kind of expect, but it just shows that their season hasn't been the the smooth.
No, but even though their points tally is
still very, very high,
comparable to last season's points tally in the same games.
Well, they're still setting a massively high standard. It's just that that their purple patches aren't as long, and
they're winning games by a single goal in the league, and that's interesting as well. The psychology. They go and smash 6 past Leipzig, or however many it was in the 6 or 7, and Burnley in the cups, or Leipzig in particular, because they're focused the Champions League. But then they can only win 1-0 at Palace with the penalty in the 78th minute. And you just think subconsciously the players, not Haaland, because he hasn't won a league title with City, but apart from him, I would imagine that you'd ask any number of those City players. They'll obviously say, oh yeah, we want to win both Premier League and Champions League. But if they had to choose one, they'd probably forego the Premier League this season and win the Champions League.
Do you think it's the same for us, but almost the opposite, in that our players in the league looked a completely different beast to how they did in the Europa League?
No, that's my point. Exactly it. It's the comparison was just like illuminated last week. The ease with which we, it's almost like we got back to Fulham and we got back to Palace, and it was like, oh yeah, come on, another level. Yeah. We scored 7, conceded 1. That's, I'd take that. All right, you like those games we've looked at ahead. They're both games that, Fulham away was a potential banana skin and a difficult game, but if you're going to win the league, you want to be doing the double over Fulham. If you want to win the league, you want to be doing the double over Crystal Palace. I'm going to say it. If you want to win the league, you want to be doing the double over Leeds as well, who are next up. I'm not saying it will be easy, and it won't, because their energy levels, and he's got them playing better. They're a little bit
kamikaze.
They're a little bit tighter at the back, actually. He's shored them up a little bit. I know the Wolves away game might not have been great evidence of that, but I just think that there'll be goals in it, but it'll be interesting how he sets up against us. A draw would be a fantastic result for them, especially after they beat Wolves away. It's given them a tiny little bit of breathing space, but
I think Leeds away was probably one of our worst performances of the season.
Oh,
We
no,
really did a smash and grab there.
yeah.
You know, we didn't
Completely.
deserve anything out of that game, and we won. And yet the defeats, you know, whether it was you know, away at Old Trafford, where we actually played you know, really quite well. You know, the Man City game that we dominated for long spells, the Everton game where again they just hit us on the counter.
Circumstances as well there with that
Yeah,
Dyche
sure.
first game.
But the Leeds game was a really poor performance. So, you know, hopefully.
Yeah, it was probably our worst performance of the season. That, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and we won it. So
Southampton a week later wasn't up to.
No, but we absolutely battered them for the first 30 minutes. Didn't sink the goals in, and got caught. You know, we're only 1-0 up and got caught then.
Got roughed up.
Yeah. So, but you know, City could look at the straight after they beat us, they go to Forest, have enough chances to win 3 or 4 games. Haaland inexplicably misses like open goal, and they end up drawing. They conceded what was in 4 minutes from the end or something like that. So that's, I mean, and that's what kind of regained our 5-point cushion. I know it's an 8-point cushion now, but you know, I just assume City will win every game. But we should I need to back Arsenal, back us, back my team.
Well, we can have a week off just to rest and recuperate, and then
and just anxiously look at all the. So who's not gone then? So Ben White's around, Gabriel's around. Saliba's around. Tierney's got Scotland.
He would have gone.
So that's 3 of the first 11.
Martinelli's not gone.
No, Martinelli's not gone.
Gabriel Jesus.
And Martinelli, I'm glad that he's getting a rest, and Jesus getting a rest, or allowing more time to kind of recover, because he's had a few minutes back. That his body will be a bit full of aches and pains, I'm sure, after such a long time out.
Rob Holding.
Yeah, and because he may well end up playing against Leeds.
He was great against Palace.
He was. That's it in the first 11.
Yeah.
Emil's with the under-21s.
So's Vieira.
Yeah, and it'd be good for those two to get minutes as well. Actually, I don't mind that. Kiwior, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. He's with the Polish national team. He needs minutes. Although actually, he looks good when he came on against Palace.
Yeah, he did. He looked in that first game against Sporting away in Portugal. He looked raw.
Yeah,
and he looked like a player that hadn't played for a while. So, you know, that was.
And I think that's I would, and I was annoyed they didn't play him against Sporting instead of Gabriel. I thought, well, you know, give him more minutes. You know, let him get that rustiness out of his game, because we may well need him. I just hope, whatever happens, that we have a fully fit team going to the likes of Liverpool, City, and Newcastle. You know, let them play us when we've got everyone fit and available. Like, that hasn't happened before.
Has there been anything said more about Eddie's injury with his foot?
More serious than they thought. Could be weeks. So he is expected to return before the end of the season. But I think Trossard has actually stepped up and been a better suited or better fit as a replacement for Jesus than Eddie was, because I think Martinelli's game improves, and Xhaka's forward play improves when you've got that Trossard or Jesus character who pulls wide, who comes left and allows that more space then, where Eddie just kind of stays between the posts or the 6-yard box, you know. And he's done really well. Like, I mean, if we do win the league, Eddie's had as big a role as anybody. Look at that 90th minute winner against Manchester United in particular.
Yes. Fantastic.
Amazing that's not the high point of our home season for me, which is just insane. I thought,
And who'd have thought it would have been? We think of it more exciting an injury time winner against Bournemouth over an injury time winner against United. It's just bizarre, isn't it?
There's no logic to that.
There's
if you told me
football makes no sense this season.
Told me that without context, I'd be like, well, hang on a minute. A 3-2 winner in the 90th minute against United at home in front of down our end is better than a 97th minute winner at home to Bournemouth.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm not. The only thing that's different is the 97th over the 90th. That's about it. But United over Bournemouth all day long. But context is everything.
Context is everything. And what a context it was.
2-0 down, 3-2 up. That's how Arsenal won the cup. Right, let's
do it.
Yeah, let's end it there. 10 cup finals to go.
Bring it on.
I've got a countdown on the fridge.
12 man. Really?
I have, yeah. There's a little whiteboard thingy, magnet thing on the fridge. It's supposed to be for, a dinner, a dinner schedule and a shopping list, but I've commandeered it for the next number of weeks. I've got the top 2 games played points, rub it out, come on, and then 10 to go now. I started it at 13 to go, I think was when I started it. So far, so good. Right, I'm. How am I ending this? Ending broadcast. So relax for the next 9 days.
Cross my fingers that they will come back.
Yes, yeah, and then it's Leeds. Brilliant. All right, catch you later.
See you later.